In the bustling kitchens of 1970s America, a decade marked by bell-bottoms, disco fever, and a curious blend of post-war optimism and economic pinches, home cooks were unleashing a wave of creativity that often bordered on the eccentric. Picture this: avocado green appliances humming away, fondue pots bubbling on every coffee table, and refrigerators stocked with cans of everything from pineapple to tuna. It was an era when convenience met experimentation, where housewives, and increasingly, working parents, turned to time-saving gadgets and processed foods to keep up with the fast-paced life. But beneath the surface of those glossy Better Homes and Gardens magazines lay a treasure trove of secrets that made meals not just sustenance, but social events. These weren't just recipes. They were clever hacks, cultural fusions, and sometimes downright bizarre innovations that defined how Americans ate. Let's dive into the heart of it, exploring 20 such secrets that reveal the quirky soul of 70s cuisine, with a dash of that era's unapologetic flair for the unexpected. One of the most enduring secrets from those kitchens was the art of the Jell-O salad, a wobbly wonder that turned gelatin from a simple dessert into a savory masterpiece. Back then, home cooks discovered that suspending vegetables, fruits, and even meats in flavored gelatin wasn't just practical. It was a way to impress guests without slaving over a hot stove. Take the classic 7-layer gelatin salad. You'd start by dissolving packets of lime, lemon, orange, and strawberry Jello separately, then layer them in a glass dish with additions like grated carrots in the orange layer or chopped celery in the lime for crunch. The secret lay in chilling each layer just enough to set before adding the next, preventing a muddled mess. It was almost like building an edible rainbow, and in the 70s, when potlucks were king, this dish stole the show. Humorously, it often jiggled its way onto tables at church suppers, where folks pretended it was healthy because of the veggies inside, though the sugar content could rival a candy bar. This trick stemmed from the post-World War II boom in processed foods, making gelatin a staple for busy families who wanted something fancy with minimal effort. Shifting gears to the fondue frenzy, another closely guarded secret was how to host a fondue party that kept guests dipping all night without the cheese turning into a gloopy disaster. Fondue pots became ubiquitous in the 70s, thanks to their Swiss origins popularized at the 1964 World's Fair, but American cooks added their twist. The key was rubbing the pot with a garlic clove before melting a mix of Gruyere and Emmentaler cheeses with white wine and a touch of cornstarch to prevent separation. Nobody wanted lumpy fondue ruining the vibe. Dippers ranged from bread cubes to apple slices, and the humor came in the rules, like kissing the person next to you if you dropped your bread. It was social engineering disguised as dinner, perfect for the era's love of communal eating. Families whispered about adding a splash of kirsch for that authentic kick, turning a simple melt into a boozy delight that masked any novice mistakes. Then there was the casserole craze, where the secret to feeding a crowd on a budget involved layering canned soups with whatever was in the pantry. Tuna noodle casserole epitomized this. Mix canned tuna, cream of mushroom soup, egg noodles, and frozen peas, top with crushed potato chips for crunch, and bake until bubbly. The 70s twist? Adding a can of water chestnuts for an exotic crunch, nodding to the growing interest in Asian flavors without actual travel. It was almost comically efficient. Prep in 10 minutes, bake for 30, and hid the fact that many households were stretching dollars during inflation spikes. Cooks joked that it was gourmet on a dime, but really, it was survival cooking dressed up as innovation. Speaking of efficiency, the rise of the slow cooker or crock pot held a secret that revolutionized weeknight dinners. Low and slow cooking turned tough cuts of meat into tender delights without constant supervision. Introduced in 1971, it became a 70s icon for working moms. The trick was browning the meat first for flavor, then dumping in onions, carrots, and a packet of onion soup mix for beef stew that simmered all day. By evening, it was magic. Tender beef in a rich gravy. The subtle humor? It allowed parents to pretend they slaved away while actually watching The Brady Bunch. This gadget whispered promises of freedom, aligning with the feminist movement's push for women in the workforce. Quiche Lorraine burst onto the scene as a secret weapon for brunch, thanks to Julia Child's influence in the late 60s spilling over. The 70s secret was swapping bacon for ham or adding spinach to make it healthier, baked in a pre-made pie crust to save time. Whisk eggs, cream, cheese, and onions, pour into the crust, and bake at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for 35 minutes. It was versatile, serve hot or cold, and hid the era's love for eggs amid cholesterol concerns. Cooks chuckled that it made men eat real food, without realizing it was essentially pie for breakfast. Watergate Salad, that pistachio green fluff, concealed a secret born from scandalous times. Instant pudding mix transformed into a no-bake dessert that fooled everyone into thinking it was homemade. Mix pistachio pudding with crushed pineapple, mini marshmallows, whipped topping, and pecans, chill, and serve. Named after the infamous hotel, or perhaps the cover-up, as some jest, it was a 70s potluck staple, light and sweet, with the humor in its mysterious origins. Did Nixon really inspire it? The cheese ball, rolled in nuts, was a party secret that elevated cream cheese to star status. Blend softened cream cheese with shredded cheddar, Worcestershire sauce, and garlic powder. Shape into a ball, roll in chopped pecans, and chill. The 70s added pineapple for tang, making it pineapple pecan cheese ball. It was spreadable joy on crackers, and the quiet laugh was how it looked fancy but took minutes, perfect for unexpected guests in an era of drop-in visits. Pineapple's tropical takeover was no accident. The secret was its canned convenience, infusing everything from mains to desserts. Hawaiian meatballs simmered ground beef balls in a sauce of pineapple juice, brown sugar, and soy, exotic yet easy. It reflected the 70s Polynesian fad, post-Hawaii statehood, with cooks smirking that it brought the islands home without the airfare. Carrot cake's healthy halo was a clever secret. Grate carrots into a spice cake batter with walnuts and cream cheese frosting, baking at 350 degrees Fahrenheit for 45 minutes. Promoted as vitamin-rich amid the health food trend, it masked the sugar load. The era's bakers knew the oil kept it moist, a trick for potlucks where dryness was the enemy. Black Forest Torte layered chocolate cake with cherries and whipped cream, a secret import from Germany via 70s travel booms. Baked chocolate layers, fill with kirsch-soaked cherries, and frost, decadent yet doable. The humor? It sounded posh but used canned cherries, fooling guests into thinking you were worldly. Ham-wrapped fruits like ham and bananas hollandaise revealed the 70s sweet-savory obsession. Wrap banana halves in ham, bake with hollandaise sauce, bizarre but beloved in cookbooks. The secret was the contrast, a nod to tiki culture, with tongues wagging over its oddity. Aspic molds, clear gelatin encasing meats, were a fancy secret for buffets. Pressed brisket of beef set sliced beef in beef broth gelatin, chilled firm. It was elegant presentation, hiding prep simplicity, though modern palates might find it wobbly amusing. Chocolate fondue dipped fruits in melted chocolate with cream and liqueur, a dessert secret for romantic evenings. Melt chocolate chips with heavy cream, add Grand Marnier, easy elegance. The 70s paired it with fondue parties, the light joke being the mess it caused on shag carpets. Deviled eggs, piped with yolks mixed with mayo, mustard, and paprika, were a picnic secret. The twist? Adding pickle relish for zing. Ubiquitous at gatherings, they were cheap protein, with hosts grinning that they disappeared fastest. Ambrosia salad tossed mandarin oranges, coconut, marshmallows, and sour cream, a fruity secret dessert. No cooking needed, just mix and chill. Mythically food of the gods, it was 70s light fare, humorously eternal despite trends. Beef Wellington wrapped filet in puff pastry with mushrooms, a showstopper secret. Sauté duxelles, wrap, bake at 425 degrees Fahrenheit. 70s hosts used it for holidays, the secret being frozen pastry to simplify, impressing without the sweat. Pineapple upside-down cake baked pineapple rings in brown sugar atop yellow cake batter, inverted to reveal caramelized fruit. The cast-iron skillet secret kept it moist. A 70s comfort classic, with bakers chuckling over its flipped reveal. Swedish meatballs simmered in cream sauce with nutmeg, a cocktail party secret. Brown meatballs, add beef broth and sour cream. From IKEA influences, it was finger food elevated, the era's way to Swedish chic on a budget. Tuna rice salad layered tuna, rice, peas, and dressing in glasses, a chilled secret for luncheons. The Valenciana version added olives, fancy yet from cans. It cooled summer meals, with a wink to its retro presentation. Finally, the crock-pot beef stroganoff hid condensed soups in its creamy secret. Brown beef, mix with mushroom soup and onions, slow cook, stir in sour cream. Served over noodles, it was 70s comfort, the humor in its secret ingredient being laziness personified. These secrets paint a vivid picture of 70s American kitchens, innovative, thrifty, and a tad whimsical. From gelatin's jiggle to fondue's dip, they blended convenience with creativity, reflecting a society in flux. Meals weren't just eaten, they were experienced, often with a side of laughter at their audacity. As we look back, it's clear these tricks weren't just about food, they were about making life a little more flavorful in turbulent times. Whether reviving a cheese ball for a retro party or pondering a Jello mold, the 70s remind us that cooking's best secrets are the ones shared around the table.